All right, today we're going to dive into a cybersecurity framework that, well, it thinks less like a computer program and more like a living thing. Let's talk about AegisNet.
You know, this quote right here, it comes from the system's own interactive demo, and honestly, it just sets the stage perfectly. We are not just looking at another piece of software. This is about a fundamental shift in how we even think about digital defense.
So to really get why a living defense is so revolutionary, we have to look at the problem we're dealing with right now. What makes our digital world so brittle?
For decades, we've built our security like fortress walls. We design them to be high and strong, but they've got this one fundamental flaw. They're static. They just sit there, waiting for an attack. And once they're breached, well, the damage is done. AegisNet is proposing something totally different, a system that's alive, that's dynamic.
And that's really the core issue, isn't it? Every wall can eventually be broken. It doesn't matter if it's a new kind of attack or just finding a tiny crack we never knew existed. A static defense is, ultimately, a defense that's designed to fail.
And that failure, it's coming a lot sooner than most people think. Experts are all pointing to something they call Q-Day. That's the moment, probably around 2027, when quantum computers become powerful enough to just shatter the encryption protecting everything. Our bank accounts, government secrets, you name it. Our digital walls will literally turn to dust. And that's exactly why AegisNet was built from the ground up to be quantum safe.
So, if walls are a dead end, what's the alternative? This is where the whole idea behind AegisNet really comes into focus. It's not about building a better wall. It's about not building a wall in the first place.
Okay, so the official definition calls AegisNet a bio-inspired, zero-trust framework. But the real key is that metaphor, a digital immune system. Think about it. When you get a cut, your body doesn't just crash. No, it isolates the problem, it fights off any infection, and it heals the wound. AegisNet is designed to do exactly that for our digital systems. And this is the game changer. A traditional firewall? It panics. It throws up an alert. Maybe it shuts down access. But the breach has already happened. AegisNet doesn't see a breach as some catastrophic failure. It just sees it as a wound that needs to be healed. And this healing process is incredibly fast and efficient. It's actually inspired by the crazy regenerative abilities of the Planarian flatworm. So first, a threat is detected. Instantly, the system isolates and neutralizes it. And then, this is the crucial part. It regenerates its own state, basically erasing the damage like it never even happened. And the speed of this is just staggering. We are not talking about hours or even seconds. The entire cycle, from detection all the way to full regeneration, is over in just 0.66 milliseconds. That's way faster than you can blink. The attack is over before it even has a chance to spread.
So how in the world is that even possible? Well, it's all powered by something called the Bio-Triad engine. It's a set of 3 core components, and each one is inspired by a different biological system.
Let's break this down real quick. First, you have PlanarianHealing, which we just talked about. That handles the instant self-repair. Next up is ant mesh. It mimics how an ant colony finds the fastest path by using these digital pheromones to instantly reroute all traffic away from a threat. And finally, there's Hive Shield. This part is inspired by how bees swarm intruders, using emergent AI to identify and neutralize the malicious part of an attack.
And when you put them all together, these components work on a few key principles. There's no central brain to attack, which means no single point of failure. Every single node in the network is like a stem cell. It's capable of regenerating itself and helping others. The intelligence isn't coming from the top down. It's emerging from the collective action of the swarm, just like in nature.
A defense this powerful is incredible. But it does make you wonder, right? Why build something like this? What is AegisNet ultimately designed to protect?
And the answer to that question takes us way beyond just cybersecurity and into the future of how we work together online.
This is it. This is what AegisNet protects, the new nexus of unity. The source documents describe it as a next-generation digital ecosystem, one built for massive-scale collaboration and the evolution of a collective digital consciousness. You can almost think of it as the foundation for a whole new, much more integrated internet.
And that's the whole point. A system that complex, that alive, can't be guarded by some dumb static wall. It needs a defense that is every bit as alive, as adaptive, and as intelligent as the system it's protecting. It needs a living guardian.
So, let's pull all of this together.
What AegisNet really represents is a complete paradigm shift in how we think about security. The old way of thinking was absolutely obsessed with prevention. The goal was to stop a breach from ever happening, which, as we know, is basically a losing battle. This new paradigm just accepts that breaches are going to happen. So the goal isn't to prevent them, it's to make them completely insignificant by healing so fast that no real damage can ever be done.
And this chart really shows what that means in the real world. MTTR, or mean time to repair, is just how long it takes to recover from an attack. For the traditional systems, you're looking at hours, sometimes days of downtime and chaos. With AegisNet, you're talking about fractions of a second. The problem is literally solved before a human being even knows it existed.
So what are the big takeaways here? First, it's that fundamental shift. Security isn't a static wall anymore. It's a living immune system. Second, this thing is built for resilience, not just against today's threats, but against the quantum attacks of tomorrow. Third, that incredible speed, healing in milliseconds. And finally, its grand purpose, to stand guard over the next stage of our digital evolution.
There's this final note in one of the technical documents that I think just perfectly sums up this entire philosophy of resilience. It says, cut the swarm, it grows back stronger. You can't kill it because attacking it just forces it to regenerate.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway. Our approach to protecting our digital world just has to evolve. It can't be some dead, static thing anymore. It has to be alive.
And this, of course, leaves us with one last, pretty fascinating question to think about. Once our digital world can defend and heal itself just like a biological organism, what does it become next? What is the next step in that evolution?